Okay, so chances are if you've got one of these BA or BF Falcons and you've got as many Ks as I do, you've got the squeakies. What are the squeakies? And if you do have the squeakies, don't ignore them because it could lead to something worse, such as your idler bearing failing. They can explode. Maybe your idler belt is bad or your tensioner is going. But not to worry, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to swap all those out. It's time! Alright. So if you're going to do this job, the first thing you're obviously going to need is some parts. And here is a kit you can actually get off of eBay. So here are all the parts that make up your idler system, I guess you can call it. You've got your idler belt, you've got your tensioner, and you've got a pulley. All of this comes as a kit. Here is the part number for the kit, and here are the part numbers for the belt, the idler, and the tensioner, just there. Today, I'm going to swap all of these out. Now, before you do, you're going to need some tools, and here they are.
Okay, get yourself a torque wrench ready, also a 3/8 size pry bar, a Phillips head screwdriver, a ratchet, a 10mm socket, and have some gloves ready so that you don't cut up your hands.
Now, I can't stress this enough. Put some gloves on, don't be a hero. I mean, what, you want to be 65, 70 years old and have completely ruined hands? I don't want that. So if you want good quality disposable gloves that you can use for DIY work like this stuff, check out the link. They are really good. I spent a long time finding the right ones, so I hope you give them a go. Alrighty, so you're dealing in this section over here, and there is your idler, and that is your tensioner there, and that is obviously your belt. I'll take this air intake off real quick, and to do that is really simple. Phillips head, Phillips head. Just move this hose out of the way too. That's a little better. Okay, we've got good access. We're going to take this belt off to start with. Before you do, make a note of where it goes when you put it back on. You won't have any trouble that way. Alrighty, so let's start by taking this belt off, and what you got to do is release the tension. That's your tensioner, and just down there is a square hole that you can fit a 3/8 extension into, kind of like this one. So you put that in there, and then you pull clockwise like that. So that is going to release your belt like that. So just take it off. You can release the pry bar now and just wriggle it loose, and just wind the belt off. Doesn't look too bad. There's a few little cracks forming here and there. Anyway, time for a new one. So now that that's out of the way, the first thing I'm going to do is take this off for, well, obvious reasons. So that is a 10mm, so just crack it loose. Once you got this cracked, it actually comes off quite easily because it's going into alloy. So get ready to catch it. There we go. So this is now rubbish. Okay, let's take the tensioner off as well. So same kind of deal, there's a 10mm just in there. Space is a little tight in here, so see what fits for you, but I found that these little quarter drive ones work really well with this. But anyway, make sure you don't get your socket captivated. Okay, the longest bolt ever. This is also now rubbish. So there we go, we've got the idler and the tensioner and the belt off. Quick clean up in here with a little bit of degreaser. Okay, so while you've got that belt and those pulleys off, it's a good time to check the rest of your accessories. So just check that your pump isn't noisy. That seems nice and quiet. Water pump. Yep, nice and quiet. AC. Yeah, very good. Alternator. Alright, that one's a little bit noisy, but it's not too bad just yet. Now, one thing to keep in mind with these cars is that alternator sits right below the power steering pump. The power steering pump can leak power steering fluid onto the alternator, causing the alternator to fail. So keep an eye on that, make sure your power steering doesn't leak and that your alternator isn't noisy. But we're good to go in here, so let's put the new parts on. So installation is reversal of uninstallation, so I'm going to start with the idler. Listen to that. Can you hear that? Neither can I. Like butter. So things are tied in here, so excuse me if you can't see perfectly, but essentially what you're doing is feeding this thing on. Just wind it on by hand. Again, this is alloy, so it should go in nice and easily. If this is giving you resistance, chances are you're cross-threading it, so don't force it. But this is going in nice and smooth. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna get my little ratchet on this thing. And now for the idler pulley as well, with the world's longest bolt. Again, this should go in easy, nice and smooth, because it's alloy. It's going into alloy, so everything should be nice and smooth going in. If it's giving you resistance, check it. You don't want to cross thread this thing. Okay, so no noises. Beautiful. And now crack out the torque wrench, set it to 25 Newton meters, and give both of these a little torquey. 25. And if you're like me, you're just about to realize that your torque wrench isn't going to go over this tensioner. Okay, so that won't fit in there. So I was hoping to avoid this, but it looks like I've got no choice. Gonna have to remove this thermo fan set up here. Not a big deal, but I was hoping to get around having to do that. So let me show you how to quickly take this out so we can reach that. Grab your trusty 10. There's a bolt just here. Same on the other side over here. If you've got a gas car like I do, you're going to want to remove this pipe work from the fan shroud, and the best way to do that, see that, just in there, there's a little clip which you gotta squeeze together. There we go, and undo this plug over here as well. And we now should be able to lift this out. Alright, now we've got heaps of room. Back to our torque wrench. There we go, double check this one. Very good. So now it's time to put that belt on. Got a fancy new belt here and a diagram here. So power steering pump, idler, AC, across to the harmonic balancer, through there, onto the tensioner, there we go. Okay, so I've got it on the power steering past the idler, down to the AC, underneath, over the harmonic balancer, up to the tensioner, past the water pump. I always leave the water pump off, to the AC and back up to the power steering pump. So all we got to do now is put some tension on the tensioner, and slide this up over the water pump like that. Check that your belt is definitely on, and that's looking pretty good. There we go. Pull this out, double check everything, and that's looking good. All right, time to put this back, and before I do, just going to check the fans here. They're a little bit noisy, but not too bad. Yeah, they're okay. Could be better, but they seem all right. Just feed this back in now. Clips go back in. Don't forget your plug and your 2 screws. Nice, so that's back in. Last but not least, don't forget your airbox. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Everything's on and looking nice. All right, moment of truth. Let's fire this up, see if it's any quieter. So everything seems nice and quiet in here. I've just noticed I've got a little bit of a high-pitched whine, and I'm gonna find out what that is right now. I've got the best little tool for this. Check this out. Have you ever seen one of these? It's basically like a doctor's stethoscope thing. So what you do is you attach these 2 bits together like that, and then so what you do is you point this at things in your engine bay, and when you do, in your ear you will be able to hear what's making the noise. And just by doing that, I can tell that that whining noise is coming from my power steering pump. So this is a really valuable tool, because you can pinpoint exactly what is causing the noise. And to be honest, this is precisely how I found out that my idler pulley and my idle belt tensioner was noisy. I used this. I pointed this at them, and sure enough, they were whining through my ears. So anyway, it looks like my pump is making a bit of noise. I'll keep an eye on it. Noisy pumps, yeah, they can be problematic. You know, noise can turn into leaks, leaks can turn into failures, so on. So I'll keep an eye on it, and there might be a new pump coming this car's way pretty soon. Yeah, it's a really valuable tool, very cheap. Check them out. I'll leave a link down below if you want one. So there it is, guys. That's how easy it is to change out the idle tensioner, the pulley and the belt on this car. I showed you in this quick video how to do all of that. So if you've got this problem at home, go ahead and try this yourself. And if you liked this video, the best way you can thank me is hitting that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content on this ute, or just generally DIY projects at home that you can do in your garage, much like I do here in my own garage. Oh, by the way, have a look at this. Remember these gloves? Well, look at this. All right, fairly filthy. Nothing. Didn't cut up my hands. No scratches, nothing. and I'm good to go. I don't know, for me, putting some gloves on, it's worth it. Time to undo my hood struts. Stay tuned for a video soon. But that's kind of it, guys. Really simple one. And if you've got this problem at home, go ahead and try this on your car. See you next time.